Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Design Review Board meeting. Today is Monday, January 23rd, 2023. We will begin shortly as soon as our other members are present. When the chair member calls up your address, which is the item on the agenda, we ask if you can please come up to the podium, speak into the mic. If you have any questions, you can contact me or pull me aside. I'm the building coordinator for the Village of Bisking Park, or you can send an email or comment on the portal.
Oh, the email.
I mean, it's a format, but it's not like worded different. I mean, I can retype it. Well, we just, what did what is his application say?
I don't change class. Why is it 36 weeks? So
I don't have the Dropbox.
it was in the email.
I have the January 18th meeting. I don't see the Dropbox.
It's from January. Gage and Miami at Gmail. I just forwarded it.
Huh? It's just, it's not.
We're in the meeting.
Just don't do it again. I will. But it's not. I still don't have it. I mean, unless I must have deleted it by accident. But
If you guys have to do additional paperwork, I will continue to do it.
gentleman back there, sir, that came in. A lot. Is he the lot split? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it just sent though.
Oh.
You have
I
Edward.
mean, we're waiting on him, right? Just text. He's one.
Oye, papo.
Are you on the agenda tonight? Ma'am? The agenda tonight, the name?
Not doing what work?
Dimitrov, right? Okay, for paint. Okay. Ted, you ready? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. This is the Planning and Design Review Board meeting for the Village of Biscayne Park for Monday, January 23rd, 2023. It is now 6:37. The roll call, Edward Leva.
Present.
David Grun,
Present.
Gage Hartung, I'm here, as well as SB
Present.
from the building. We do have one walk-in or discussion item that I want to add. We have some residents here. I'm gonna make it Bruce Kokrak. I know, is that correct? I always, they're here to discuss 1008 Northeast 114th Street, which is a proposed new construction. So I'm gonna add that as item D. Bruce Kokrak. All right, sorry. COCH RAC, and it's regarding 1008 Northeast 114th Street.
1008.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go take the agenda items of the residents that are here. There's only 3, and we'll go to the discussion item. So the first one would be Building C, Dimitrov, 1001 Northeast 111th Street for paint. And the dark is on the, so the columns, so the white, the walls are gonna be white? Yeah. So it's kind of reversed. It's basically white with the brown, the white columns are gonna be that brown color.
And there's not shutters on it anymore, or are the shutters brown?
Shutters are gone.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell from that if that was like missing paint or. If that-
I'm fine with it.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. You're good.
The approval is ready. You can start paying.
Thank you. Next would be, business, building permits.
Oh, that's back to her. Ma'am?
Do we not, is this on the Dropbox?
Yeah.
These colors are on the Dropbox?
Yes, but you guys said that in the future you want.
11935 Northeast Fifth Avenue, for 11935 Northeast Fifth Avenue, for lot split. Okay, so, good evening, sir. So you're looking to separate the two lots. Okay, request to subdivide a lot down the middle. So the lots are already actually plotted separate. They're just folioed together with the counting. So each lot will be 15,200, 76 by 200 deep. Lots will be exact congruent. Our plan is to build a single family home on each. So just, I mean, just to read it out, we're in sector B, I believe, and that is 8,500 square foot minimum lot size. So you're definitely well within that. 75-foot frontage. Yeah, so we've already actually done this one before with one of the previous, I guess it was the previous owner. Any question on this?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. So we just approved it, so we will do a letter. I guess how we're gonna do it, I'll do a form letter and give it to the manager, and then
that's
he'll send it as or he'll redo it with his own name.
On a city letterhead.
Okay, so then so what'll happen is that the manager will then submit it to whoever. County.
Well, no, so what happened is, the manager and the attorney will be CC'd on it, and then we'll call him to pick up the letter so he can bring it to you.
Okay, so you'll get a letter from our manager saying that the lot separation has been approved. And I guess you take the letter down to whomever it is and go from there. Okay. Yeah, you're approved. Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing some plans. So, all right, we have discussion A, Valley Homes LLC, 930 Northeast 108th Street for an addition. Do you have plans for us? Can you actually just bring them up here and we'll grab the mic? Well, actually, we'll just turn that microphone on. Just right there in the middle, please. So is this have we seen this one before?
Yeah, and I think the information is exactly the same as far as square footage, everything. But it's my understanding that there was a question about what was existing, what was new, and if it was a new house. Definitely an addition. And what we've done is we've added these. Let me show you.
This is the house down, okay,
Yeah,
okay, we saw this before and there was no relation between the new house and the existing house.
yeah, this is what you saw before. These are the drawings that were submitted. So basically, in this drawing is showing you what the addition is what the existing is.
Why does that say existing?
Correct. There's a part of that that's existing to remain. So we just clarify.
No, I mean, there's not actually. I mean, this is the house that's set way back and there might be a little porte
Yeah.
cochere or something
Yeah,
there.
let me just show you here. This is the existing,
Okay,
okay? So basically, in black, it's all the existing, and then we're removing these front walls and then attaching this addition to it.
how are you supporting those trusses? I mean, you're taking out all those, that support, that
Correct,
supporting wall in the
Correct,
front.
correct. There's a beam and there's a structural wall.
I mean,
The beam, different support. beams,
Okay.
To support it.
okay,
Yeah.
I saw you,
Yeah.
you're taking out basically the entire front wall of the house, and I know those trusses probably come down and sit
Yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah,
So first of all, let's just start from the beginning. Lot coverage. So you have what size lot,
90 by
No,
130.
square footage wise? You have 12,000 square foot lot. The existing building,
is
16.
The addition is 1320.
And you
Total-
also,
total.
34, but you also, aren't you putting a pool in here?
Yes,
So the pool needs to be on there, the driveway needs to be on there. It's all,
well, it's on separate permit.
okay, but we look at total lot coverage. You have a 50% total lot coverage,
Okay.
which I mean, you are way under, but
Yeah.
we do check that to make sure that you're not.
Okay. Well, here was the thing, this was submitted prior to us submitting the pool. So
Yeah.
it should have been approved then, and then we would have picked up the pool.
Is that correct? Because I remember
Yeah.
we looked at this and I remember making the comment, why are they, they asked for the pool originally and it's
No,
not,
no,
and
you
it's
know-
not
you know
on
what,
this,
You know what, you're right, you're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely,
and it's not even shown on here.
yeah, no, again,
Yeah.
because this was, because there was confusion before, we didn't want to add that to it because it was.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
we
under
need,
a separate permit.
yeah, but we need to see total
Okay.
lot coverage. So let's just. So your front setback is going to be 31 feet to the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, side setback
Same-
13,
same.
12 feet. 28. All right,
And
so-
You
then
don't
here's,
mind me asking, what's the purpose of the
Really, it's just like to create a view here for the dining room, like a private garden kind of thing.
So setbacks, lot coverage,
Everything.
yeah, but I come back to our first,
No, no,
my
it-
reaction was this new structure has absolutely zero relationship to the old structure.
Yeah, I was gonna, I mean, that's like the elephant in the room, right? Forget the setbacks and lot cover. I mean, it's just a Frankenstein kind of connection of two different homes. Was that not discussed? I don't know when the first review was. I don't think I was here.
Yeah. I
That was our
wasn't-
main thing, was like, whoa, there's
I
no,
wasn't here. The feedback to us was, is this a new house or is this an addition? That was the only feedback. to us. There was
Is
nothing-
it possible to make the front stuff have at least like similar style roofs to what the backside is, or to swap out the back
or
to
make
be
this-
similar
or-
to the
or do
front?
this porte cochere or whatever, that foyer with a gate, with a gabled roof on it or something. It's just there's zero,
Right.
it's two houses.
I think the owner will like more the back. maybe
be
the front,
flat?
'cause They want that more modern look.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that that's probably a pretty strong thing that we would push for, is one consistent roof
Okay.
style
Okay.
of them.
Or making them a combination of the two, you know.
No, I think that this is what she's looking for. So I'll create that in the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, unless like it says she's, or unless
Yeah,
Gage
no, she
said
doesn't
she's
like
cool
the
with it.
gable,
Okay,
she doesn't like you know,
yeah.
In the next conversation we're having, it's the same owner and everything matches.
Yeah.
The second one,
Oh, okay.
Pappas,
So my comment would be, I don't see the harmony of the two structures together. It's,
and
again,
is that, and again, I don't mean out of place.
Yeah.
Is that part of the assessment?
yes,
Okay.
part of our task is
So
to
I
make
need
sure,
to give her
is
a
to make sure
reason.
that the house is harmonious with
Okay.
its existing structure,
Right.
as well as the neighbor, surrounding it.
Yeah.
We're not opposed to flat roof houses.
Right.
It's just the,
Like this wouldn't be approved if it was a total new house either, like it doesn't, whether it's an addition or new construction, it's like, okay, there needs to be some degree of
You
integration.
know, there's
I
like
got you.
2 foot chunky horizontal
Correct, that's all.
facade,
Yeah.
fascia, whatever.
Facial.
Yeah.
And just be clear to the homeowner that you're suggesting they prefer to just change the back roof, which maybe is the option, but that's not what we're asking or telling. We're saying some degree of integration, whether, you know,
Now,
So there are more than one way to go
let
about
me
that.
ask you, let me put it this way, 'cause economical way. Would you be okay if we change that front entry area with a hip roof with tile and call it a day? Is that also acceptable? to you?
That's kind of what Gage was saying.
Well, it was a suggestion. I'm not saying that that's
No, I'm
the
not saying
solution
it's-
to the issue
yeah.
is, you know, but
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
an architect or the builder?
The architect. with
Okay,
the-
so yeah, I think you understand where
Oh,
we're
yeah,
coming
yeah.
from, that,
Correct.
you know, you have two
Yeah.
distinct
Now,
architectural styles. here.
Again, going back to the question, if this is changed to a hip roof, that kind of mimics the
And-
backside.
And what is this? I mean, I didn't even notice it. You have like this box,
Yeah.
the garage just comes out with no fascia, anything on it. It's just like a box coming out, like
Correct,
here,
correct. It's a modern look. Yes.
and it's only 7 feet high.
Yeah.
This line here, which is the roof, garage roof line right here. It's a 7 foot
I'm
high.
sorry. No, it's not.
9.
Nine.
7 and 2.
All right.
7 and 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
7 is the garage door itself.
Yeah. Now, again, back to the question, I mean, and I don't mean to push, I just want the option, to give her options. If we go with this front higher feature here, entry feature, with a hip roof mimicking the back, would that be sufficient? If you guys call it harmonious?
It would be a step in the direct, I mean, I'm now concerned about this box that's now kind of jutting out to the 30-foot step back that doesn't even have, it's just, there's no architectural detail to it. It's just a box. That it
It's
doesn't even,
modern,
I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't even have like the fascia that
Yeah.
it's around the rest of the perimeter of the
Well,
house.
This fascia pops out.
Yeah.
Here, you don't have anything popping out.
I think even
Look at
if
here,
it
look
was,
at just, there's not even a window on the ones. It's just,
yeah, I think even if it was not at the same thickness of this other fascia, because here, correct, would the fascia be able to come forward more than 1 foot? Because it was at 31 feet back. Is
yeah,
the fascia
you're
allowed
you
to
can-
go into the 30 feet?
Oh, yeah, the overhang you can go into.
So,
So just create the same kind of feature.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like if he does that and then the front roof is stylistically similar to the back.
it's
Is it possible to basically carry this, like, even if it's just for decorative purposes? And you could have like the back roof underneath it, but is it possible to carry this flat to this back roof? So that this line is extended?
cost if you're just adding,
I just wouldn't do that.
you're interrupting this
Yeah,
roof,
yeah.
you're gonna have to support it
I
from
would either
underneath, you
leave
know.
it and try to mimic something in the front or just change all the back roof to a flat kind of thing. Now, the other thing I could do in your suggestion is I could create a stucco band. I can definitely go out with an overhang here, okay, to do this, right? And then on the sides,
I'm not crazy. The garage roof line, 7'6", right?
Right.
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah,
It
but
said-
then-
And then it says 7'6" right there.
Yeah, but it's off of the zero line of the house, which is
Yeah.
elevated relative to grade.
it's 2 feet off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you just, you know, it projects up really high in the middle and then this really low.
Yeah, and that's what they liked about it. I mean, it's something that they fall somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I think
Okay,
our,
I have
we'll
the
leave it
feeling.
up to you.
Right.
We're not saying that if you just do that, it's gonna appease, but I think the point is that you have almost, to me, almost three different architectural styles here, because this flat roof to me doesn't even relate to the house behind it. Because the roof lines are,
This comes off as being a lot more industrial and commercial, which is like, for instance, anybody that tries to put metal roofs in here, like we have very specific,
Right.
well, like ordinances in place
Right.
that dictate the degree of fascia that needs to exist,
Yeah.
because we're doing everything that we can to avoid things looking super industrial or
Okay.
commercial.
Okay.
So that's why, like,
I get your
you could
feeling,
do
so I'll
something.
go back to her and try to see what I can.
Yeah.
Have,
Please.
get her cool with.
Right.
See, we have enough.
Okay.
so it's just a discussion item, so there's really no vote. And then we,
Remember that, well, yeah, so the addition. No, because remember, if it was, then you guys was gonna, that, but, so it's discussion. So he's coming back?
yeah, he'll come back for, he's taking our advice or our feedback, and we'll come back with another design or an updated design. Next would be discussion B, Pops 11070 Griffin Boulevard for an addition to.
So here, again, going with the modern theme. The addition is in, there's a little addition here at the entry point, and then there's a bigger addition in the center, back of the house, and then here on the side. So it's a covered terrace, and like a family room, great room extension, and then just a little entry feature where this is just really flat.
Is this the first time we've seen this one?
Yes,
Okay. But this actually is really more of an addition than a.
this is,
It's not really.
this is the existing house.
Okay,
Okay, right now, this wall is going to get adjusted and this one as well. Everything black is existing to remain.
Okay. so is this a,
So-
this a flat roof house?
No, it's, it's
No, again.
the same, it's the same concept as what we
Concept,
just
but-
saw.
But we put everything now, we took away seeing the tile roof.
Yeah.
Now it has parapets. It's matching
Got it. So you are taking,
everything.
you're
Yeah.
changing the roof line.
Correct.
So, so this kind of reads like you're not touching these areas, but you're actually.
I mean, they're leaving some of the gabled roof. You're not removing the gabled roof.
No, I'm just building.
Like a
crickets
false
in front of
front.
it, yeah, and parapets in front of it.
These-
So,
It's gonna be behind, you're not gonna be able to see the roof anymore.
correct.
It's
See,
easily defensible in the Wild West.
right. So you see, I've created crickets.
Yeah.
So the Drainage will be
You
taken
have-
care of, but.
You have what, scuppers or something that you're
Correct,
shedding all this
Correct,
water?
right. And then this is an addition, this is an addition, and then this is. Front of the house looks like this.
12-foot parapet basically.
This is the back of the house. They have it's a beautiful lot, because the water's in the back, very serene.
Yeah.
So they want as much glass to the back as possible. And then these trellises to create shadows over the windows. These are the side elevations. Same thing, everything is with parapets.
Is this the rear? This is the rear.
No, this is the rear. This is the front. This is the rear. It's east-west.
Yeah.
This roof has an overhang, right? Has eaves.
Right. we're
Right.
gonna Cut them
You're gonna cut,
and sit the parapet.
so
on
you're
top.
modifying all those trusses.
Correct. You listen to me on this. This is one of the modern.
Is this the same owner?
Yes.
I mean, they're spec houses. I mean, let's call it what it is. Both spec houses. So again, this is the north, so this is the front of the house, or this is the front of the house? I think this is the garage.
Yes. that's the
Yeah, so
garage.
that's so it's still 12 foot, and then in the back, it starts stepping up to
It steps up to-
14,
yeah.
15 in the back,
Yeah.
okay?
It's actually this area here pops up. The great roof gets higher, and then it has clear stories all around. So it's like a lot of light.
Yeah.
With, clear stories.
Mhm. So it's one story, but yeah,
One
that's, these are
story.
on the middle.
Yeah. You see, pops up here in the center.
Okay, so let's just look at this area in the front does not affect the setback because it's
No,
behind
no,
the
no,
front of the
that's right,
house. You're not touching that. You're not touching the sides, the rear, you have plenty of space. Lot coverage, it's a huge lot, but is it called out here for your lot coverage? We'll just need it documented, make sure that it's on here, what your existing and what the new is gonna be.
Correct. Well, that, we'll have a legend, yes.
I think he just means as existing lot coverage versus new lot.
Like
It's-
the other
it's
one. the
gotta be
other one had,
documented,
Yeah, the
yeah.
other one.
Okay. Any other feedback?
No.
So we can move this.
So this,
move
this roof right now is, the top of that roof is under 16. On the current. Under 16 feet total, because it looked like the highest parapet part took it to 16 feet, but I was just curious because,
Yeah, well, the ridge.
It
is
has
in-
to be
is in
pretty
the center.
squat.
You're talking about this.
Yeah.
here. But this is separated from this.
But I guess he's asking is on the parapets on the front, are they gonna cover up the hip roof?
Yes.
Are they high enough, that 12 feet to cover?
Do you have a ground floor plan in that package? I only see a roof plan, an
We
RCP.
we submitted, apparently when I printed it, let me
Yeah.
just see if.
Just curious, because there's no floor plan, there's just an RCP and a roof plan.
We have a site plan.
like, what's the
Yeah, site plan is the old building now, right?
14?
feet.
So what they're saying is somewhere around 13-ish or
Is-
so is
is-
what
yeah.
this height is?
Correct, yes,
Oh,
because
okay.
these homes were built with a very, they're not trusses actually, they're rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, because I pulled it up
Yeah.
here, so that's why I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Like, you got probably like 8, and then you got probably 5, so it's probably like 13.
Are we gonna see it from the street?
What?
Is it gonna be
No.
peeking up over the 12 foot,
No,
the 12 foot?
Yeah, I would say that if possible in the submission, if you could just get us
that out.
on the existing, hey, yeah, total to the top of the line is,
so much.
and what I would say is
least
that
match
we
it,
would
right?
want to at least match it or
Yeah.
cover by 6 inches or
Okay,
something.
all right.
So that
That's
that
not-
way it's like, we don't come back and it's 1 foot short.
Have a question.
Yes.
It seems like this came to us before.
No, this one did not. This is the first time you see it.
Okay, because I'm looking here.
No, I think we did submit it for a pool. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Is there a pool?
Yes. you
Okay, so we
approved the
need,
pool.
but I mean, is it built?
No, no,
Okay.
last time you approved it.
Okay, we just need to have, the site plan or
Yeah.
proposed site plan.
has the
Lot.
sided
Okay.
arch.
Okay, so
Like
the new,
waterway
so
thing?
the
Yes.
one that you submitted was for gazebo.
Correct. Correct.
That
It
was last
Pool
time.
and gazebo, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were questioning the gazebo, like what it is, there was no elevations of it.
And the gazebo is modern, like this.
Okay. So,
Okay, okay,
I
that's
remember
what I
with
wanted
this
to
house when we
make
approved it, like,
sure.
I was like, okay, it doesn't, the two of them didn't match at the
it's in the
time,
back, yeah.
but
So again, you just need to clarify that everything that's,
Yeah. But as
the
far
pool,
as the
everything.
concept, you guys are good with.
I think we're
right?
good with the
Yeah.
As long
concept.
as the heights and all that, you're good?
Yep.
Okay.
So we want to, at the next meeting, move it to the agenda?
yeah, so yeah, what I would
Yeah.
say, we need to know what the height, the actual true height of the existing roof is and make sure that that's covered off, and then we need the
The lot
current lot
Yeah,
coverage,
yeah,
including,
imagine, yeah.
yeah, and then,
Okay.
So
but then we need the pool, even though it's not done, we need the pool like included in that, so that way we
Driveway,
look at what the total.
Now, do you actually need to see the actual pool or just the area saying this is so much lot coverage?
Yeah, just the
But
area
the
and
area,
then
but
know the
also on
lot
the
coverage.
schedule showing the pool, what proposed
Oh, yeah.
lot coverage,
Yeah.
everything.
I'm saying you don't need the actual pool.
We don't need the
No, I don't
drawing.
Just
think we
need a
need
block out of the area.
Because it's
right?
already been approved on a separate
Exactly,
permit, so,
exactly.
but it's, as long as we have a master site plan that shows
Exactly.
where everything's gonna be at
Okay.
and then the coverage. So we'll move it on to the next.
Yep.
Thank you. So we'll add that to the next agenda.
Sure to submit the plans by January 30th. The next meeting is February 6th, but it needs to be submitted. a week.
Am, are you on the agenda tonight? The name? Riger? For a driveway, and then ma'am? The yard, okay, for driveway and porch tiles? Okay.
You have 3.
And
Yes, all three, and then walkway.
walkway.
Okay. Um,
She also, for the driveway, board advice, on the lot calculations, so. I don't know if you want to move it to discussion.
well, let's look at it.
Right.
Oh, okay, so,
No, Miss Third, Mrs. Third, sorry. No, you have it. You're
because
good.
you are on the agenda, we have to take them, and we'll come back for the walk-ons in a minute. So it'll be Building D, Schreiger, 1060 Northeast 121st Street. Okay. Just reading it in. For a driveway. No, unless we have a question, you can.
That needs to be recorded with Miami-Dade. Once it's done, you need it for your first inspection, so you should give that to your contractor. So they should, no, they should have it, go to Miami-Dade County to get it recorded, where it says at the top right there. Once it's recorded, Miami-Dade give it back, you need to have that at your first inspection. So,
It's any time you do construction, you file a notice of commencement, you record it at the county. So the clerk of the county,
Contractor would do it, right?
you know, it
contractor should do it.
depends, contractor, owner, owner's attorney, owner's representative, you know, it. Yeah, it just needs to be. It's okay. Just needs to be recorded at the county.
So you're doing a concrete driveway with a little design in it, according to the photo, 20 feet wide. My only question would be on the side, how far is that from the property line? There's no dimension on that. The, 2'6" here.
Yeah,
So that's the flare at the front.
east.
The part that's going to be besides the covered concrete. Yeah, so besides the carport, you're putting a thing there. What is that dimension? Yeah, 30 inches, which you have at the top with the flare. So it can't be up to, actually, what you want to do is, you just can't go any closer than 30 inches.
It looks, I mean, if this is one of the better drawings. It looks further out, but can we're conditional to making sure that we have a final measurement on.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as long as it's. No, trying to think of what else you have there.
No, we just need to make sure that the contractor, when they actually pour it, it's more than 30 inches away, because what we don't want is for them to pour it and then.
Yeah, it looks graphically like 5 or 6 feet, but
So this looks like it's 12 beyond the 30 inches? Like, can they just document that?
It's more for your sake, because if they do pour it and they pour it, less than, then the inspector comes at the end and it's all wrong and rip it out, you know, so, no, without it, so.
So,
No, I think you can give that to SB.
yeah, we're gonna,
We'll approve it here, just noting that that part has to meet the setback.
and then you just, when you just resubmit it, you know, with that dimension in it.
So motion to approve Bendick measurement verification that
And no closer than 30.
no closer than 30 inches.
All in favor, say aye, aye.
You didn't want me to stumble through that all on my own?
Can you say that?
You just say.
Pending.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you.
The project is more.
No, she's healthy.
Huh?
No,
Yeah, she's
I'm
helping.
putting it in the portal. I'm typing it up right now. Yes, they'll get the notification from you. So it's no more than 30?
Add a dimension.
No less.
No less than 30.
Less than 30 inches. From property line?
Yeah, to the property line. Oh, you got
Okay.
that? No. Mhm. Yeah, you're way within your lot coverage, so if you wanted to make it a little wider, you could. We're just saying no closer than 30. Yeah.
Pretend like this is our carport.
Yeah, yeah, so here's property. Thirty,
Uh-huh.
no closer.
As close as 30.
Yes. Yeah, that's what you have.
I know.
Okay, no, we got it. You're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you'd like to hang out.
It's going on. I just forwarded to the building review. Okay, welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
No, you won't. Don't rush.
Yeah, Building E, Theard, 11390 Northeast 8th Avenue for a driveway. Okay, so you're just adding an approach. Is this the discussion item or was that the
No.
walkway?
That's the driveway, but she didn't have her lot calculations, so I'm not.
So the only thing for you relative to the whole conversation we just had with her is that it needs to be 30 inches. And you have an existing driveway that it's not identified on the survey, but it seems very close to the property line. So extending that approach might not be the same width as what you have there because it would have to step back 30 inches. And I don't see it, I don't think on the survey it's identified. I mean, it may be, it's hard, you know, the survey doesn't show a dimension from the driveway to the property line, so. Looking from the photo. Hard to tell in the photo because I don't know where your property line is.
So the approach has to be 30 inches.
And also the approach, are they doing concrete? I mean, the same as material as the rest, so it's just an extension of the concrete.
So, I mean, you might have a situation where it's not gonna line up on the left-hand side with the existing concrete that's there. Because it looks like I see a chain link fence there, and it looks like it's pretty close to that chain link, which would most likely delineate the property line.
Yeah, I mean, the property line's actually even closer to the chain link from the neighbor.
So,
But then could she curve it towards the center of the lot a little bit, like bring both lines so that if it's not going perfectly straight, that it's curving in? If she's just doing the approach part.
I mean, it would just be what's there, which is about 10 feet wide. The new approach would have to be over 8, 7 foot, 7.5 feet roughly. Unless you add to the concrete driveway that's there and make it a little wider.
On the other side.
Yeah. You understand where?
It seems- This is
Well,
it,
I mean,
right?
the
Yeah.
photograph here, you have like, a couple feet there before that in a rock or something. It would be like close, and it could even be, yeah. See, the problem is your existing drive is not conforming. And what you're applying for has to conform with the new code, so it has to have a 30-inch setback.
Just to clarify, not with the new code. Now, since it's new, it has to comply with the code, because the 30-inch setback isn't
Yeah,
new, yeah.
that's true, but it actually was not, it's been on the code for a while.
Yeah,
That's
but
correct.
what I would say is kind of, you could tape measure and see what it would look like if the whole thing's just justified, right? And if you don't like it, then the easiest thing is you could probably run like off of Google Maps. You could probably run like a 2.5 foot line that goes back. So then that back palm tree is like right next to the edge. So then you would have kind of an extra concrete runner on the left side until eventually that falls apart. And when eventually that falls apart and you're reconcreting the back part, then the back part will now just be in a straight line to the front part.
Said it all.
Oh,
So I didn't follow that at all, but as long as
correct.
she followed it.
Oh, and what I was saying is she could tape measure it, basically look at, hey, look, how weird does it look if it's justified over, if the front part's justified over to the side to be conforming? And if she doesn't like the way that looks, then she can run the concrete going back to the house. And she looks off of Google Maps like she has 2.5 to 3 feet to
come up
that back palm tree.
I'm just, so
Nobody likes it.
help solve this.
I just
I mean, you
wasn't
literally have-
following.
It looks like you have maybe 2 or 3 feet between the pavement and the palm tree. So if you're gonna be pouring concrete out here, why not just add like 1.5 feet, 2 feet running along that parallel and have this come all the way out to the street and then have this come into like here. So your new drive would be kind of like that, and you're just adding maybe 10 feet of concrete, 30 inches wide up to the one side.
For the record, he is saying the exact same thing that I said. One is you-
And again, this may all be much ado about nothing if you're already 30 inches. It's hard to tell. So your contractor can check what's the distance from the property line. If you're 30 inches, go straight to the street, you're good to go.
So it'd be 30 and then,
chain link fence.
so a solution would be just adding a little bit more concrete and shifting your driveway over. So we're gonna table this for the next one.
Actually, you can't see it.
I got a motion to table. Is that everybody?
Why are we taking?
I thought
She
you
can-
They have to draw this.
Just gonna verify what she wants to do. Okay.
Yeah, it's not drawn.
So we can't say the same thing that we said for the last one.
Well, it just sounds, I mean, in the last one, we were pretty confident it was 5 to 6 feet away, so it was kind of just like a,
Yeah, well, in this one,
This
we're
is a bit
pretty
of a-
confident that it's not.
yeah, so hence maybe she wants to determine the actual solution they're gonna implement and then come back and.
Okay, so motion to table.
Second.
favor say aye. Aye. Okay, so the driveway is tabled. Was that Ed and David, right?
David, then.
David and Ed tabled on the driveway. So next would be Theod also 11390 Northeast 8th Avenue for porch
I'm
tiles.
sorry, what was the reason for the table?
Because it's not dimensioned, it has to have a 30-foot 30-inch setback, I'm sorry, from the property line. And so she needs to go back and just check and provide us with some dimensions and decide on exactly what you want to do. Okay. Yes. So you're just doing some terracotta porch tiles on the front, or no, that's the existing? Are you doing the slate or the gray slate that's on this picture here?
Second.
All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries. Okay, next will be Theod also 11390 Northeast 8th Avenue for a walkway. Okay, so you're just gonna keep it in the same exact footprint? And it's also gonna be concrete, or, so you're just replacing the areas that are red? And here's the photograph. Thank you. Okay.
Second.
Favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Yep. So you're all good. Thank you. So we meet in 2 weeks. So if you can get that turned around, and the deadline is
The 30th.
30th. Resubmit by 30th. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. We have some residents that are here that we added as a discussion. They were, I believe they're here to discuss 1008 Northeast 114th Street, which was on our agenda last time for as a new construction. So is there anything you want to say? It's a proposed two-story. Yeah, please. Can you just go to the microphone for me really quick? That right there.
It's not really for us, it's for the lower court.
People, it was being videotaped.
I live right next door to where this house is supposed to be constructed.
Can I just get your name real quick?
Oh, Karen Bruce.
Okay.
My address is on 10th Avenue, but the side of my house is right next door to where that's going to be happening. For a two-story house to be there, the aesthetics of the whole street that I live on, it just doesn't fit. If it's going to be a two-story house or no two-story houses on that, it's going to be ultra modern, which is fine for people who like that. I don't, but it's going to look awkward. Plus, it's going to be close to my house, and they're going to have windows up in those two-story houses. And I don't know who's going to live there. They could turn it into an Airbnb. So I'm going to have people able to look at my backyard, look through my windows, and that's kind of creepy for me. The other thing is that I have a fence on that side of my house. It was put in by Art Pyle when he lived there. And it's right on, I know it's right on his property line, so I'm not going to even argue that point. But I have a chain link fence that was grandfathered in a long time ago. And he told us, my husband and I, that if we paid for half of that section of the fence, he would have the contractors or the people who are coming in to put the fence in, he would have our chain link fence taken out, because that was the fence between the 2 yards. And we agreed to that, because otherwise he would have put up the white fence, the chain link fence, and our yard would have stayed there, and it would have looked really disgusting. So we had it taken out. If people come in and they decide, hey, we don't want this fence, then I'm without a fence on that side of my house. Now, that's apart from the fact that I don't want a two-story house next to me. But I don't think that I have any rights to that fence.
Is it on your,
Because
is it surveyed?
he did it on his property.
Okay.
So I know it's on his property line. It's right next to my property line, but I'm pretty sure it's his property line. The chain link fence was on my property line, which was in front of it.
Okay.
But see, what am I supposed to do?
Unfortunately, the fence issue, you're at the mercy of the new owner, that they're not going to demo. I mean, it's their fence, so hopefully they will not, because I know the fence, it is a fence that's in good condition. So I don't see why somebody would want to take down a fine PVC fence that, that divides
Well-
the property.
I'm sorry, I don't see why somebody wants to come into Biscayne Park and demolish houses that are in good condition just to put up a white block of house with a black roof.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I hate that.
I know, but unfortunately, people have rights to develop their properties. I mean, and we have, and our codes are such that. Now, what we do have is we have the ability to work with the resident, like you just saw us working with the resident, the architect here, on trying to make it less impactful on the neighbors. They did come in for a review at the last meeting. We tabled it because they were not here to present it to us. So we have not actually met with the owner yet, but they are proposing a two-story house next to your house. Now, we will work to try and minimize the windows that are overlooking any neighboring property. I actually have the plans here in front of me. I pulled it up from our last meeting. The two-story part of the house is actually on the other side. The part that's facing, that's
So
up,
it's only gonna go on half of the house?
yeah, it's 2 stories towards the one side.
That's
And
even,
it's 1 story is actually the part that is facing your house. So, but again,
so it would be next to Art's house, Art's old house.
according to the plans I'm looking at right now that were sent in, the 2-story section is on the east side of the house.
Is the house gonna be bigger in width? Because that lot is really small.
It can't go to within 10 feet of either.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing it at 10 feet setback on both sides.
Is that what the house is now?
No, I think the houses on that block is, the garage side is 10 and the other side is 18. Because I'm on your block. I mean, we're.
I
neighbors.
know, you see.
So,
you know
so
what I'm
all our houses are exactly the same. I have 10 on the garage side and 18 on the other side. So most likely that's.
It is, it's in the survey.
Yeah.
So it's-
So it's 10 and 18. But it looks like they do want to go up to the 10 feet. Again, that's their right. Now, I think this house is going to be having a lot of comments from us when it does come finally in. But I also would like to encourage you to please, at the next commission meeting, come in and talk about passing the McMansion ordinance that has been languishing for almost 2 years now. That they need to get, the new commissioners need to get it done, please, because this is exactly what the ordinance is for, is to try and curb these developments so that they're less impactful on the neighbors. Just as an FYI, they're on a corner lot. Their back of their house is 10 feet away from the property line that's now there. So their rear yard is actually a corner lot. So they're kind of.
Yeah, it's a small.
There's not a
between
lot of
My
space
house and the
between.
fence, there's not a lot of room, but we don't care because we have the 2 side yards, so it's fine. But to have something like right
Looming.
there, that's creepy to me.
Well, the other thing too is even if the 2-story side was on yours, if you go and look at like all of our previous, anytime that somebody does try and build something 2 stories, we always make sure that they have nothing but either frosted windows or windows that are above head height so that they can't peer down into stuff. And we don't allow them to have a balcony that is allowing them to look over into the backyard. So, and then we do our best to try and make sure that it's not just one single long line. So it sounds like in off of the plans that were sent in already, that on your side, there wouldn't be a two-story side, but even if they are, we never allow people to build windows or balconies to peer into neighbors.
See, I don't know that. So that's
yeah.
why I'm bringing it up because I don't want that to happen. I mean, having something that close to my house anyway causes me not to be able to breathe because that's claustrophobic for me. But on the other side, I guess, that wouldn't bother me as much, but the two-story part. My other question is, I've lived in the park for 40 years. When I moved here, everybody was old and I wasn't. So everybody was my age now when I first got here, and I watched them all kind of die, right? Because there were no young people here. There were no kids here, really. The rec area had 2 swings and one was broken because there were no kids to play. And my 10-year-old daughter didn't have any friends, right? Now I'm the old person and all these young people are coming in here, but I thought that flat roofs were banned in Biscayne Park. They were grandfathered in on houses that had them, but they were not allowed to be used by new construction. And now we're getting flat roofs again.
No, our code allows flat roof houses. They just cannot be single flat roofs. They have to have different heights and levels, change of heights. It's pretty clear on that.
It can't look
You
like.
just can't have a flat one level.
But all
flat
these
roof.
houses look like square houses.
Well, they have flat roofs, but they're at different changes so that you can't just draw a line that goes all the way across.
Like the rec center is conceivably just a flat roof, one level, So that would be the example of just a flat top roof house. That's
We
what
should
our
hit it
code
with a fine.
Huh?
Should hit it with
Well,
a
actually, the
fine.
funny thing is they added that front part, it's lower. So it became into compliance when they added that addition 15 years ago, whatever it was. So, but we do allow flat roof houses. It is in our code. I don't know. This code has been in effect since 1991, I believe. So at least as far back as 1991, it's been allowed. We
see,
do
I
have
don't-
historic 2-story houses in the park, around us, there's a 2-story Spanish, there's a 2-story over here, so the 2-story part, though it's not as common because we have more single-story houses, it is allowed, but they must harmonize with the other houses. So that's where we're trying to control it.
Well, yeah, and it's not gonna harmonize with
Oh, believe me,
114th Street.
I'm mourning, and believe me, I have nothing, no conflicts on this house at all, but I do live on that street and I know our street and it's going through some changes that it's unfortunate, We had a very nice run of just quiet little houses and now our block is unfortunately changing. It's we have to let it change within the parameters of our code. So, but I encourage you to please do this with the commission to let them please urge them to finish the McMansion ordinance that's been sitting there forever.
Because like Charlene and I were talking, with the price of that house, the only thing that it'll probably turn into is an Airbnb. And that brings in people we don't know, that brings in people who don't care. We've had some problems with it being an Airbnb now, and I've had to call the police 5 times, numerous times because of the partying and the loud stuff. The first time it was used as an Airbnb, they had all their garbage and they went to put it in my garbage can. And I said, no, you can't do that. So what do? Their Uber showed up, they left it in the yard and took off. So it's a disregard for what they should be doing. But then again, half of them don't know what they're supposed to do anyway. So
You got an Airbnb or if a family's gonna
No.
live there, or
They're-
they can do whatever they want.
I mean, they are developers, but they own the lot, they're developing the lot. So, they like, we've had before us where people say that they're planning on living there and they turn around and not live there, but that's, again, that's their prerogative. I mean, we can't regulate.
There's
what they're
also
doing.
lots of more expensive houses that are selling that are occupied, right? Like, I lived in one house over there for 5 years, and I bought a house over here for more money than I ever wanted to pay for anything, and I lived there, right? So it's not the that, oh, okay, the construction cost and value of it is here, then it's for sure an Airbnb. This neighborhood is becoming part of why you see a lot more families and young people and a lot more construction, is because everybody's figuring out, oh, this is 20 minutes from Wynwood, this is 20 minutes from the beach and all that, and it's one of the last best places. So people are saying, if I want to live here for the next 40 years, I want to do it the right way from the beginning. And it's tough when you have a couple of kids and stuff to come into a 1,300 square foot house. So
We really suffered since the two houses next door to us, both were sold and both became Airbnbs. And it's just terrible.
yeah, that the
And then there's
Airbnb,
one under construction right across the street from the house we're talking about. Who
Yeah.
knows where that's.
and that the Airbnb type of stuff, that's also something to bring to the main commission, because the types of things like, for instance, the landlord application for if you're having long-term rentals and stuff like that, none of us are lawyers, but there are things that the commission could potentially look at to do to
Well, they-
not necessarily stop.
They did pass the.
Yeah, I mean, they passed an ordinance to try to
ordinance for
make-
Airbnb.
Yeah.
There's all these rules now that
Yeah,
but they have to enforce it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, you can have all the rules in the book, but if nobody's enforcing them, if code and compliance and the police aren't more strict, then who cares about what the regulations say?
Yeah. And we're neither code compliance or,
Sterling Korak. I live on 114th Street and Northeast 10th Avenue. I have lived in Biscayne Park for 61 years. I have seen it change. We were all family oriented when I moved in. Nobody had fences. Everybody knew everybody. People babysit. They worked for my parents. Now our street is totally different. We have 2 Airbnbs. A perfectly good house next to me was torn down. The construction process has been a living nightmare. They started without a permit. They continued without a permit, got busted, continued without a permit. Then finally started construction with a permit, but we're starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, even though they were told they couldn't. For 2 weeks, I had code on speed dial. I had Mario on speed dial and was emailing. And finally I said to code, if this continues, I'm going to be calling the police. That's what I did on a Saturday. That's what I did on a Monday. And finally, I hit a nerve and they finally are getting with the program. But I don't think I can deal with this directly across from me again. The trucks, it's like a convoy of trucks coming in and out with gravel and dirt, which I know is part of construction. My neighbor behind me is a contractor. He explained to me what they're doing. They're not doing the crawl spaces like our houses have. They're doing the slab, which is getting higher and higher. But I don't want another Airbnb unlock. I want to know my neighbors. I want people with kids coming in. And don't get me wrong, the Airbnb people, most of them have been quiet. Most of them have been polite and, wave to you, but they're here for a couple of days and then they're gone. You'll never see them again. And between them putting the trash out on the wrong day, their lawn service coming and leaving a Volkswagen-sized pile on the wrong day that sits there for weeks until you call Public Works to get it picked up. It's yeah, I mean, that's what it is. We have motels on our street. And I don't know if any of you go on the real estate sites or the Airbnb sites. I did the other night and my mind was blown. In a year, the Airbnbs in here have doubled. And you don't have like a whole house. You've got people renting out 1 bedroom, part of their house while they're living in the house. And I know the majority of them do not have permits business licenses like they're supposed to. And they started this new Airbnb inspection process that's supposed to start in January with code. We have 2 code officers. I don't think they're going to be able to catch all the Airbnbs that are going on. I walked from my mom's house to here and I'm like, that's an Airbnb. That's an Airbnb. And you can tell because they've got the recorded security thing. When you walk in a certain part of the yard, it says you're being recorded. And I'm like, we're losing our quaintness. And the Shores just said that in the Biscayne Times. We're losing our quaintness because of the Airbnbs and these investors coming in. And I know these investors are going to try to push the rest of us out like they did in Golden Beach. You buy one or two on the block, people get irked that they're no longer have their quaintness. And then they eventually get pissed off and sell. I'm not going to be selling. My mom's 92. She's living in her house. I can't go anywhere until something, unfortunately she passes. I want my quaintness back. I want to know my neighbors. And I know that, construction is part of progress, and progress is what's going on in Florida right now. People are moving here from New York. In fact, I just had two really nice, a couple from New York who were here at an Airbnb who were asking about Biscayne Park. We didn't know this has existed. This is so nice. Tell us about Biscayne Park. And I told them it's a great place to raise kids, and they're in Brooklyn. The crime is what scares them. And I told them, I said, here, knock on wood, we have a great police department and we hardly have any crime now, hardly. And the police are on the up and up. But I know you can't really stop people from doing what they want to do if they're within the guidelines, but you have to listen to the residents too. We live here. We want our quaintness.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Just, I think you might know, but that the Airbnb thing, the village would love not to allow it, but it's a state thing, right?
Yeah.
It's out of our hands. So fortunately, the best we can do is try to regulate it to make it unappealing, but we can't outright prohibit it. Otherwise, I'm sure the village would have already. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also significant kickback against Airbnb because they're losing all of their VC funding. So it's no longer being subsidized. And I think there's lots of people that are starting to realize, oh, it says $168 for the night, and it ends up costing me $400, and I can't check in until 6 p.m. There's issues. So I'm not in this full time. I'm in finance full time, and I've worked with people that do that type of stuff, and they're getting afraid of doing Airbnb types of stuff to that same degree. But the bigger thing is that these are all great points to bring to like the overall commission. Hey, you need to do a better job of working with and supporting code enforcement so that code enforcement has enough people,
Yeah,
and has
have
enough
the
ability to
resources.
do this. Because us as planning and zoning, we're here to make sure that somebody's driveway is where it's supposed to be, and that they don't combine two houses into one house when they're building something. We really we can't even, for instance, if Gage drives around and he sees something clearly not in compliance, he can't even directly go and do something about it. He has to get another portion involved. So, yeah, and that's right. That's variable based off of what conferences are going on and all that type of stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is they're all great points. I'm not a fan of the Airbnb process, but one thing too that I hope that you appreciate when you go, for instance, on Zillow is you see, oh wow, what the planning and zoning board is doing in combination with the macro environments and everything like that is property values are like increasing because we're trying to make sure that people are building things and doing things the right way. And part of that, especially when you see lots
This
of
is what the-
families come in with young, I have two little kids under the age of 3, that unfortunately the 1,300 square foot old thing just doesn't work as well. And so then it becomes, okay, how do you and your spouse, if you're going to be paying a few $100,000 to change it, how do you want it to look? And our job is to be tasked with make it look and fit in as best we can while being paying attention and making sure, hey, the windows aren't able to look over into people's balconies.
We do need to move on because we do have a big agenda to finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but please, the commission, thank you for coming out and I appreciate your feedback and we hear you. Believe me, we hear you. So let's move on with our agenda. With the minutes from January 9th, 2023. One thing I noticed was old business A, Silvergate Management. I think David was late or somebody was late. So it was a 3-0 vote at that time. It wasn't a 4.
Yeah, my golf cart
Your golf cart
died.
stalled
Yeah,
or
my,
something now.
yeah, my golf cart died crossing 6th and me and Scarlett almost got taken out.
So the first one, Silvergate Management, was actually a 3-0 vote.
I want you to know I have a charger for it now and it won't happen again.
You brought it today?
I would have brought it, but Scarlett wasn't in town, so I'm being a good neighbor. I even brought her trash can back.
There's any other changes? Let us know.
Why was the Downey thing, the generator crossed out?
Because it came to us before. It came to us before, so when they submitted, they didn't have like the building permit.
Ah,
So when
okay.
they got it, I'm
Gotcha.
thinking it was a whole.
Any,
new-
any comments on the minutes or no? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Aye. That one. All right, so we have old business A, Sam Pen Diaz. Sam Pen Diaz, 741 Northeast 11th Street, revision to permit.
The minutes, it was Edward that was first?
Yes.
Yeah.
So revision is,
New aluminum fence and gates. 6 feet high. Seems to just be on the left side and back gate. And other front aluminum gate.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I don't see it on the-
Dropbox, it says
I don't see it on the
driveway.
drawing.
Says driveway?
Doesn't your PDF say driveway? No, not on the agenda, the name of the PDF in Dropbox.
Says revision to permit fence.
The way the PDF is named? I mean, I didn't change. the
I'm
PDF.
looking at the, what I'm. I guess it's.
No, they must have another agenda item. What am I looking at? Forget it. I'm looking at 1.9 because I pulled it up to find what house they were talking about. Sorry, so I was looking at last set of,
You thought you were part of the matrix.
So,
the last time they had a
confused,
driveway.
what is the revision?
Um,
It looks like it's a brand new permit. It's all,
Well, it can be because the permit it's open.
so what did we approve back June 13th, 2020?
If the folder is there.
we denied it because of inconsistent materials in the front yard. They were doing the gate different than the other side.
But we approved it on the 13th and I signed it on the 13th.
Yeah, because here, in, like the minutes, it says approved.
Oh, I see.
Oh, damn, and you motioned it. It's on you.
So they were doing a 6-foot wood fence on one side.
Oh, they said Mansory wall. Don't know what and then a wood gate and then wood gates. So they
So-
switched from wood to aluminum.
So yeah, so it's a wood and aluminum on the side. Everything else looks like it's the way we approved it originally.
Yeah. So
Okay,
motion to approve.
David,
Second.
Ed, all very say aye, aye.
Guys, look at that. Everyone worked together as teamwork.
Next is Vinograd, 11619 Northeast Sixth Avenue swimming pool. Yeah, this is a old permit, old business, I'm sorry.
Denied before for not meeting the setback requirement. I don't
So
know.
this is on
I
this,
don't know if they think the setback is from the median,
but
because they added a dimension 36 feet from the median. across.
am I looking at the right one? Is it not just me or is it on the side facing the street?
It is, and I'm saying they added a dimension, but the dimension is taken from the median.
The other thing too is with the front entrance being the left side, is the water line allowed to be in front of the front edge? If they have the ability to do that, doesn't the water line have to be parallel and the masonry can be in front of?
It would, the entire thing is all needing a variance. So
Yeah.
if they wanted to put it and the commission agreed, they wanted to put it a foot forward, they could. I mean, I would say, let's move it back, line it up. So it's technically not in the front yard personally, if I was gonna give them a little feedback. But why did we deny it the
We
last
den-
time?
Yes, we denied it on,
It
what day
was,
was this?
yeah, it was denied on
November
November
7.
7.
And we were pretty explicit in saying
You see what it
in
looked
the,
like on
in the front setback variance.
But I'm curious because they've got a revision cloud as if they changed something, but what did they change? I mean, they literally didn't change it. They just, I'm telling you, they added a 36-foot dimension to the median for some reason. As if that's what the issue was.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
'Cause if you look at the original November 7, that's the only difference in the package.
This pool contractor, it's a consulting engineer.
Motion to deny?
Second.
David,
The same.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the setback.
pool's not allowed in the sides. Side
Yeah, they
front
have to
setback.
apply for a variance.
If they had like, yeah, they want to go forward. So. Next will be building A, Gaudi, 715 Northeast 119th Street for a fence.
No, that's Gaudi.
It's kind of long in the start, existing wood fence.
Yeah, they're just
New
showing you
metal.
they're replacing it with new metal, same layout.
So how high is it and what's the color of the metal? 6 foot high. Standard wood fence detail.
So the gates are back from the front, but they aren't at the same parallel line to each other. Does that matter? Or no?
So
It can be different.
There's,
It says new Durafence. It doesn't have a color.
it doesn't have a design of it. There's a pool there. So we have, it can't be horizontal, climbable. I think we need to,
And it has to have that self-closing.
yes. So I think we should need to table it for more information, please.
Motion to table pending color and fence design.
That was a second.
Yes.
Okay, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So, you got that? Okay, next will be building B Estevez. 845 Northeast 120th Street, re-roof tile. espresso blend. Kind of brown, like concrete. And they're doing the entire house, and the low slope has a Polyglass USA material on it, so it looks pretty good.
Motion to approve.
Say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we crossed out Downey. Ordinance amending discussion item. Ordinance amending chapter 8 property maintenance. So, yes, we can. I'm sorry, I didn't really understand.
So, when what you see in front of you is, our minutes from when it first came to us in, August, back in August, and then you'll see the code enforcement minutes that they approved it with no changes as is. So the manager wanted to have you guys review it again, take it back, take a vote, so it could go to commission, meeting in February.
So our thing was property maintenance timeframe for a tarp to remain. Item would go to planning board for discussion and back to planning board to vote for commission. Okay. That was our comments back on August 8th. And code board, according to their minutes.
Is it correct that we're just reviewing the blue modification?
I think it's everything that's underlined
Yeah.
is new.
Yeah.
Every property shall be properly maintained and kept free of excessive growth conditions, including the swale areas between the pavement edge and the property, which includes sidewalk adjacent to particular lots. Landscaping shall be maintained to prevent property damage and public safety hazards, including removal of deceased, dying, or dead plants. Comments already kind of addressed in 8.4.4. Is this from this part here? Is this from the village? With these comments on here.
That's what they. That's the one that came from us. There was no changes.
I think the 8.4.2, they actually excerpted it right there. Like it's right below.
Oh,
Because I had the same thing. I was like, well, how am I supposed to know what it says?
What are you saying?
Nothing.
So this one here?
Constructive.
what usually happens when people talk.
No, I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like we have a, hold on, is there something in the Dropbox, like a clean version of this?
Well, they have to change all of the commission. Also, everything's dated.
No, there's nothing additional in the Dropbox page.
It's the exact same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Curious to know who made these comments on the right. We're just gonna kind of trust that what's there is there.
Yeah.
Since it is kind of property maintenance, not something that's to do with asking for a permit. presented proposed changes. Consensus of the board was to accept the suggestions. Okay. Guys, are good. Let's rubber stamp that on.
Yeah. Motion to also accept.
Is it a
The-
discussion item?
Oh,
It is true. It is actually a discussion item.
okay. Well,
We're not actually voting on
Noted
it.
and discussed.
yeah.
To discuss.
No, we have no objections.
We have no objection. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, so we just. What it was. The one we was- the roof. So we completed our agenda. It's interesting looking back at that property on 114th Street. You know, they really did just flop it in.
100% identical.
Because I mean, the address on one of the pages is actually one of the other property's addresses.
And they don't have a site plan with survey because they don't want to get into, I mean, it's literally just the same identical stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing too is I just noticed they have 5-foot setbacks.
The one we looked at today was 10 because the house was 55 wide and the property is 75 feet wide. I checked out during that chat.
I did, because I'm looking at like the left-hand side, there's a 5-foot walkway or something.
Yeah, they don't show the setbacks is the issue on the
Yeah.
plans. They don't have a site plan. But the overall width of the house is 55 and the lot's 75, so I'm deducing, although they could be putting it 5 feet from one and 15 in the other, which wouldn't, you know. No, they didn't, those people didn't, SB, you didn't hear from them again, like, oh, we want to get back on the agenda for discussion, or they just,
The,
the three identical developments.
the new builds that we tabled in the last meeting. Coming to talk to us.
No, we don't allow tract homes, so.
I mean, it's 25 foot tall. So I mean, it's progress. I mean, like I was trying to explain to them, like, we don't like it, but, you know, my thing is I don't see the economics in these things. Especially like with kind of things have cooled off a little bit, like buying house and properties at the highest price and then tearing them down to put a bigger house on top. Trying to figure out how they make.
And I don't know that they are, because, I mean, for example, I remember the young guy, it was him and an older architect or something, the one that wanted the variance to tear down the whole house, and they ended up doing the 50%, you know?
Yeah,
So they had that house on 117th, the old mid-century, they tore down.
yeah.
A lot, nothing's happening there. So I just think, I don't know if they think they can get the land, get the entitlements, do the demo, and then just flip it with the entitlements, because someone else will say, oh, they don't have to work, and I'll just, but I don't know. It's very tough with construction costs to make.
But at least they put up the construction company actually put a sign up, so.
They put a fence, they put a home, I mean, put a sign, but crickets.
A lot of times, though, you see that happen in Q4s, then you see all of a sudden a push for phasing to happen in the next Q4 because of tax purposes. So like, he probably doesn't experience it quite as much, but like I have lots of clients that they're like, oh crap, I need to try and drop income and show stuff like that. So what they'll do is like they have a few different pieces of real estate that they're like, oh, we could push this and I can get this GC to take 300 grand and only do 100 grand worth of work, and then they get their.
I guess maybe, but you know, there's carry costs in those properties, and if you want to make money, you gotta buy it, build it, and get out of it ASAP, right? Like the one on 119th, the one that's around the corner from me. I think it was a Sobe Builders home or whatever, but I look at that thing like moving at a snail's pace. Every 3 months they'll do a little bit of work. And it's like, guys, how are you making any money off of this?
They completely missed the.
5 years. I don't know how long exactly, but at least it's been under construction the 2.5 that I've lived here. And it's like little bit, a little bit, but it's so inefficient. How do you make any money on a house like that? I mean,
Those guys don't have.
Completely missed the peak of the market on that one.
That's why one of the owners sold
Without or something.
one of that property.
yeah, but that's
They got stuck with those two, the one that.
the one right on, I guess it's Fifth Ave, like behind me, on the corner on 120th. She was here recently for a fence. She bought that at the same time I bought mine, and I met her, and she was a flipper. And it was me, quick flip. 2.5 years later, they've really done virtually nothing on their house. I'm like, you just missed the market. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Speaking of taking forever and then doing a little something, the concrete shell.
I was just gonna ask. I haven't driven by recently. Is anything happening there finally?
Yeah, they started working on it this past week.
Yeah.
And every day there's like 5 trucks there now. So I was like, what happened that all of a sudden they're.
Well, they sold it. They came here with a new design, modified. Probably just got their building permit through the building department, so now they're probably kicking away.
Oh, yeah.
Well, today they actually just submitted a revision to the another revision.
To the design?
Yeah.
So it's gonna come back before us again?
That was my question because it was responding to comments.
From
So,
us?
no, from building.
Well, if there's any change to exterior of it, then we have to look at it again.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 trucks there.
Yeah, I figured, so when they were here last time, they were with Kobe Karp, who's like one of the biggest architects in Miami, and I've worked with him before, so.
Is that
he was
Kobe?
Kobe was here in the last meeting, yeah.
Really? That was him?
I don't know what his role is in it, if he's doing the design or if he's an investor, because he's got money, so he does, investments as well.
Well, I know Kobe, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
why would he come here for one?
I don't know. When I saw him, I was like, hey, what are you doing here? But, so I figured it was gonna actually do something, move now.
That is a riot. I had no idea that was him.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He just sat present. He didn't talk. But he was with the guy that was the new owner or whoever. It's presence gets things approved.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He shook Sinatra's hand.
All right, so our next meeting will be February 6th.
I mean, I feel a little bit embarrassed because David was here like the night his child was born.
You gotta power through.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't know that I will be.
Is that around your due date?
Our due date's the 8th, but they're actually inducing her on the 2nd. So if we get that far, so 3rd to the 6th, probably gonna let you guys handle it.
We just then you got to make sure, Scarlett, that we're all here.
So you're saying I have leverage?
Here's the thing.
Let him hold the gavel.
Uh, Well, I mean, we only have 4 members, so it takes 3 of us to make this meeting happen. Okay, so the 6th, and just please confirm.
By the way, whether or not I was like, I really need to make sure that I make it, but my kid locked himself in a bathroom and I had to try and convince a 2-year-old how to unhinge and then roll out an old window so that way I could get in. And it was like 45 minutes to an hour. Luckily, he got to the point where he was sufficiently unhappy and sufficiently stressed enough in there that he was focused and listening to me. I was very proud of him for actually like doing it so that I could get him out. But it was like a process where I was like, man, if this goes on for more than half an hour, like I'm going to be late to this meeting.
All right, any further business?
No adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Microphone's off.